My name is Margaret Hale. I am 101 years old. I was born and raised in the United States, in a small town where the streets were quiet, the neighbors knew your name, and people still believed there would always be more time. If I could sit across from my 30-year-old self for just 5 minutes, I wouldn't smile. I wouldn't soften the message. I wouldn't tell her everything will be fine. I would lean forward, look her straight in the eyes, and say, "You are spending your strongest years like they're endless, and you don't understand how fast they disappear." At 30, I thought mistakes were small and reversible. I believed time was generous. I believed love would repair itself. I believed my body would always recover. I believed money problems could wait until life calmed down. I was wrong about all of it. I am old now. I wake up slower. I walk more carefully. I need more light to read. But regret is quick. It doesn't limp. It runs. And what I'm about to tell you isn't advice I picked up from books. It's a message I paid for with years I can't buy back. If you're around 30, please listen. Not with the part of you that thinks, "That won't be me." Listen with the part of you that knows you're human. Love doesn't survive on feelings alone. At 30, I truly believed that if two people loved each other, the rest would work itself out. I thought affection was the foundation and everything else would naturally follow. That belief led me into quiet suffering I didn't even know how to name. I stayed silent to keep peace. I avoided difficult conversations because I was afraid of conflict. I told myself that maturity meant swallowing discomfort. I called it patience. I called it sacrifice. But what it really was avoidance. Here is what took me decades to learn. Silence doesn't protect a marriage. It slowly starves it. I let small hurts slide. I tolerated disrespect because it wasn't dramatic enough to count. I waited for my partner to change without ever clearly saying what I needed. And while I was waiting, distance grew, like rust spreading in a place you don't look. By the time I finally spoke honestly, it felt like shouting across a canyon. If I could talk to my 30-year-old self, I would say, talk early. Talk when it feels awkward. Talk before love turns into routine. A healthy relationship isn't built on staying quiet, it's built on staying connected. And I would add this, because it matters, don't marry someone because you're hoping they'll become a different person. People reveal themselves early. Believe what you see, not what you imagine. Love without respect drains you. Love without communication confuses you. Love without effort fades quietly. And don't stay just because starting over feels frightening. Time doesn't reward waiting, it only makes the consequences heavier. Your body keeps score. At 30, I treated my body like it had endless patience. I could sleep poorly, eat badly, carry stress, and still get through the day. I thought I'd handle my health later. Later doesn't show up the way you think it will. The warning signs started softly. Stiffness in the morning, headaches I ignored, fatigue I kept calling normal. I told myself everyone felt this way. I was busy. Life was busy. Then a doctor used words I wasn't ready to hear: chronic, permanent, manage, not cure. That was the day I learned something painful. Your body forgives you when you're young. But it remembers everything when you're old. I didn't move enough. I sat too long. I carried stress like it was a personality trait. I believed being strong meant never resting. I thought rest was weakness. It wasn't. If I could speak to my younger self, I'd say, walk every day. Stretch even when you don't want to. Sleep isn't laziness, it's repair. Stop living on caffeine and quick comfort. Don't ignore pain because someone else says it's nothing. Pain is information. It's your body speaking. Health isn't something you fix later. It's something you protect daily. Because when health goes, freedom goes with it, and freedom is what makes life feel like life. Ego doesn't make you safe, it makes you alone. At 30, I wanted to look capable. I wanted to appear steady. So I wore confidence like armor and hid my doubts where no one could see them. My ego spoke louder than my heart. I argued just to win. I stayed silent when an apology would have healed the moment. I thought saying, "I'm sorry," would make me smaller. But refusing to say it did exactly that. Over time, misunderstandings became distance. And what's cruel is that people don't always leave with a big fight. Sometimes they drift away quietly, one unanswered call, one unspoken apology, one too many moments of pride. I learned too late that ego doesn't protect you. It isolates you. If I could talk to my younger self, I would tell her, listen more than you speak. Stop needing to win every conversation. Choose peace over pride, even when your throat tightens and your ego begs you to hold the line. Money problems arrive in the dark. I also let pride guide my money choices. I spent to look stable. I bought things to feel accomplished. I compared my life to others and tried to keep up. Planning felt boring. Saving felt like something you do when you're older. Then life tested me, like it tests everyone eventually. An illness. A sudden bill. A stretch when income slowed. And fear entered my home quietly. Money trouble doesn't always explode. Sometimes it whispers at night while you stare at the ceiling. If I could talk to my 30-year-old self, I would say, save before you feel rich. Plan while life feels easy. Don't confuse appearances with security. Pride will tell you everything is fine. Wisdom will tell you to prepare. Time is the harshest teacher. At 30, I believed time belonged to me. I thought I could always catch up. I lived as if life were a long road with plenty of exits and rest stops. So I rushed. I rushed out the door. I rushed conversations. I rushed the people who loved me most. I kept saying, later. Later became tomorrow. Tomorrow became next week. And then one day later disappeared. I still remember hearing my mother's voice weaken on the phone. I noticed it, but I didn't change my life. I thought there would be more time. Time doesn't forgive that. I watched my children grow while planning the next responsibility. I missed small moments because I was always thinking about the next thing. Children don't pause. They grow whether you're watching or not. I kept telling myself I'd slow down when life got easier. But life doesn't really get easier. You just get more tired. Years passed faster than I expected. One day I looked in the mirror and saw a stranger, an older woman with many memories and more regrets than I wanted to admit. That was when the truth became clear. Time doesn't announce its departure. It slips away while you're busy planning. If I could speak to my 30-year-old self, I would beg her to slow down. To sit longer at the table. To listen without checking the clock. To rest without guilt. To say the loving words now. To forgive sooner. To live now. Because you don't lose your life in one dramatic moment. You lose it in small delays. So please, don't live like you have unlimited time. You don't. If this story felt real to you, choose one thing today to do differently. One call. One honest conversation. One walk. One apology. One moment of presence that you don't rush through. And if it touched you, like, comment, and subscribe for more real-life wisdom.